Today, we are going to be discussing the Iron Banner. Specifically, the first Iron Banner for Season 3 of Destiny 2 has launched, and instead of being met with hype and excitement, it was met with a fair amount of controversy and disappointment. Did this Iron Banner flop, and if so, what can Bungie do to fix it? That's the topic for today's video, so let's get started. What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here, and today we will be discussing the Season 3 Iron Banner release, the controversy it caused, the disappointment and lack of excitement, frankly, that it's also been caused as well. So, what exactly happened? Because, frankly, with me saying that, I'm sure there's people typing out right now in the comments that they're enjoying Iron Banner, and frankly, that needs to be mentioned. There is a lot of enjoyment to be found in the Iron Banner, and Bungie has made some positive, very positive changes to the Iron Banner recently for Season 3. Firstly, making it 6v6 standard is a lot of fun, and it's a big departure from 4v4. Even if you're not a huge fan of 6v6, well, you don't feel like you've necessarily lost too much because you can always go back to quick play. For those people who really do like 6v6, they have somewhere to go, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Also, the way that the vendors are being set up for Season 3 of Iron Banner and other activities as well is a huge improvement over Season 1 and even 2, where you would just have to luck out and randomly you could get the weapons and armor that you wanted in Season 1. Now you specifically unlock the weapons and armor as you rank up Iron Banner more and more. So these undoubtedly positive changes make, in my opinion, this Iron Banner substantially better than the Season 1 Iron Banners. However, this Iron Banner did still launch to controversy caused by a single emote. Essentially, when people logged on for the first time at reset, they checked eververse and saw that this Iron Banner emote that you're seeing right here, and this isn't just an emote that's available with the launch of Iron Banner, it's very clearly an Iron Banner themed emote, was not an Iron Banner reward. In fact, the only way to get this reward is to specifically pay for it in eververse. And even then, normally, the eververse items are also available to buy for Bright Dust that you get for breaking down other eververse items that you can get for just playing the game and leveling up. So most eververse items are available for those who never spend a dime. This emote was very different. You had to spend your dime. You had to pay for it in order to get it. Now, of course, people didn't like that at all. And there was a fair amount of people saying this is absolute crap. Now, in my opinion, I didn't like it either. I thought that this would have been a perfect reward for especially reaching max rank in Iron Banner. You'd see someone whip this out and you'd say, oh, like this guy grinds Iron Banner. This guy 100% knows what he's doing in the Iron Banner. Whereas now you're going to say, oh, this guy spent, $10 I think it is, or $5, whatever it is. And it kind of loses a lot of its meaning. But at the end of the day, it is just one emote, right? I mean, it's just a single emote in Eververse. Why are people so upset about this? Why did people get so heated? Well, you gotta look at it in the context of the entire offering of the Season 3 Iron Banner. Because the reason people were so upset over just this emote is, like I said, because it would make a fantastic reward. And the current rewards for the Iron Banner are absolutely lackluster. And that's a huge part in potentially why this Iron Banner may have flopped. Me personally, I had really no desire to go out and play the Iron Banner. After looking at those rewards, like I made a video comparing all the different Iron Banner weapons and to say which ones were the best, which ones should you grind for, and frankly, none of them have stats or perks that stand out whatsoever, especially compared to what we have available in Destiny 2. So it's a very depressing experience in the sense that you lose your motivation to play Iron Banner when there's no rewards you want to gain from playing Iron Banner. Why would you play if you're not trying to get anything? So again, my motivation personally went down. I know a lot of other people's did as well, judging from tweets and comments and so on. Heck, it was hard for me to find a group just to play Iron Banner for the background gameplay, let alone stick around. Everyone just wanted to play for a little bit because none of them were trying to grind and again, get those rewards. So those two things combined to really create the negativity we see around this Iron Banner. You have extremely lackluster rewards, and then you have one reward that people would actually grind for, and you place that one reward behind a paywall. But unfortunately, the worst part about this Iron Banner is it's really a taste of things to come. So if you're someone who's saying, you're overreacting just because there isn't any good rewards, or I think the hand cannon's good, so how dare you even say such a thing, it's gonna get worse. And here's why. Looking at the Iron Banner rewards, they aren't doing anything wrong in the sense that they're just normal weapons. But frankly, because of the Destiny 2 weapon system and how bad it is and how simplistic it is, these are going to be overshadowed every single time, and these are not going to be desirable basically at all. Firstly, you can tell within an hour of playing what the good perks are and basically what the good stats are. Bungie has been very afraid to alter stats of weapons. So, I mean, look at the 450 auto rifles. Seriously, if you don't believe me, go on to Destiny 2 or look in the database and look at all the 450 auto rifles or 900 round printed and SMGs. Pick your archetype, and all of those guns have virtually identical stats. The 450 auto rifles are really apparent, and other certain archetypes, they have nearly identical stats. There's no 450 auto rifle that has a massive amount of stability, but half the range of the other ones. So there's nothing crazy like that. They all abide to a very strict pattern. So when you have that, they feel very similar. This is combined with the fact that you have static rolls and perks that are clearly better than other perks. Kill clip is clearly better than, well, basically name any other perk almost. So when you present a gun with kill clip, and then you present a gun that has the same stats, perks that don't alter it very much, and one main perk that's not kill clip, that's grave robber, let's say, the kill clip weapon is going to overshadow the second weapon every single time. And that's kind of what we had here with the Iron Banner rewards. These rewards are abiding to the traditional gun layouts that we've had since Destiny 2 launched, and they provide just one main perk with weapons that already exist in these very common damage archetypes. And if you look at some of the more exciting weapons that have been added with Warmind, they cheat this archetype. Look at the escalation weapons. They clearly do not abide to these traditional weapon layouts. They have unique perks that spawn only on them and not on other weapons. And they have multiple main perks. That's why the escalation shotgun, SMG, and sniper are all desirable and all pretty darn decent. Like, people want those weapons, and Bungie knows this. Because to make these weapons desirable, Bungie specifically designed them in a way to make them outside the norms of the gun category. And that's not a good thing. So Bungie looked at this and said, okay guys, we need escalation weapons that are good. So we've got to basically cheat the weapon system and make weapons that are totally different and very far ahead than the other weapons in the game. And they did the same with Nightfall weapons. Look at the Nightfall exclusive weapons in the game, even some of the Braytech weapons, I believe, and they have multiple main perks. So you can see a pattern here. Bungie realizes that in order to have desirable weapons, you have to break out of the weapon system because the weapon system is so boring. So when you have weapons like the Iron Banner weapons that aren't necessarily doing anything wrong, but they're just still abiding to those weapon system norms, they're overshadowed by all the other weapons cheating the system, right? They're overshadowed by the escalation weapons. They're overshadowed by the Braytech weapons. They're overshadowed by the Nightfall weapons. They're overshadowed by all of the weapons in the traditional gun type that have the god rolls, that just have cherry-picked the best stats and rolls, like the Uriel's Gift, the Number, all of that stuff, all the top-tier weapons. You can't have another positive outlook, because the positive outlook is just good because it's in a good archetype and it's got kill clip. That's it. So you either need to make a gun that also has kill clip but just has better stats, in which case that would be the new king, or you need to start inventing new perks that compete with kill clip. Well, Bungie's not inventing new perks other than these weapons I already talked about that are breaking the traditional norm, and they're not inventing those new perks to put them into the traditional gun category so you can get new guns with new perks. So again, it's kind of this vicious cycle that Bungie has created this weapon system that produces a lot of very underwhelming weapons. And so if you try to add on to it, you can't. Like, it's so hard to have a weapon that exists within these very simplified weapon parameters that's also a standout weapon. Therefore, if Bungie continues to do this, which is just adding normal weapons into the game, we are going to have underwhelming event after underwhelming event. If Faction Rallies rolls around and Bungie just thinks it can add the 27th 600 rounds per minute auto rifle into the game, already that's not a super exciting thing. But the fact is, even if it has a great perk like Rampage, well, one of the Nightfall exclusive auto rifles is 600 rounds per minute and has Rampage, but because it's cheating the gun type system, it has another main perk that you can choose instead, and therefore it's likely to be better. The normal weapons can't really compete anymore with all of the guns already in the game that are cheating the rules of the gun system. They're just clearly better. Now we are going to get substantial redesigns in September. We're getting randomization and we're getting a new weapon slot system, and hopefully we're getting a change to the gun system, all in September. But it's a long time till then, and there's going to be several events up to that point. And if all of these events are doing is adding the 30-second 900 rounds per minute legendary SMG to the game with the same perks we've seen since launch, no one is going to care about them. So what can Bungie do to solve this? Well, firstly, they can actually make armor worth something. Notice this whole video, we've been talking about weapons. Notice that when anything comes out, Iron Banner, Escalation, whatever, everyone's talking about the weapons. No one cares about the Escalation Protocol armor. Everyone wants those weapons. Why? Because armor in Destiny 2 is purely cosmetic. You can find the same 2 stat rolls on raid armor as you can on Iron Banner armor, as you can on planetary armor. There's no reason to grind the raid specifically for the raid armor, except for the raid perks, which have been made a thing. But even then, you can get the same raid gauntlet perks on the armor from Leviathan, as Spire of Stars, as Eater of Worlds, right? So again, it's just absolutely no reason to get armor other than for cosmetic purposes. And there are people out there who care about how they look as a Guardian. There's a lot of people out there who do that. So I'm not trying to say that that's not a worthy endeavor, but I'm saying armor should definitely have more of a purpose than just that. And when you have a special event like Iron Banner that rolls around and no one's even looking at the armor because they know that the armor doesn't matter whatsoever, it's really, really a sad thing. What if the Iron Banner armor had special perks? Maybe you would earn more Iron Banner tokens even. Like, that would be at least something. Or you could hold more ammo capacity. Let's say the chest piece made it so that you could hold more ammo capacity for auto rifles than normal. That's not like anything massive. I don't think that's going to break the game, but hold on a sec. That would actually be pretty good. Like, I've thought of several scenarios in which I run out of ammo for my auto rifles, even in the raid. I would be rocking that 100%, right? That little thing, that little perk would make that armor desirable, and people would be going out of the way to get that armor. Why doesn't Bungie do this? I have no idea. And I think what they are doing is waiting until September to redo the armor system. But again, it may be too late by that point. Bungie might have to kind of introduce some stuff early so we can actually have armor worthwhile. That would essentially double the rewards in the game, because right now, really, the main thing people are going for is always weapons. Speaking of weapons, some of the things that Bungie could do is firstly realize that the gun system completely sucks and absolutely needs to change immediately, not in September. If you're going to cheat this gun system with certain weapons like Nightfall weapons and so on, also consider cheating it with other weapons, with Iron Banner weapons, with faction weapons. Have another main perk. You know, have some stats, for goodness sakes, out of the norm. We finally got a 750 archetype for SMGs with Warmind. There's a Crucible SMG, the Huckleberry, and the Escalation Protocol SMG are 750 rounds per minute. They're the only SMGs that are. For goodness sakes, Bungie, do this more often. Like, honestly, why is there not a 700 rounds per minute auto rifle category? Why is there not for scout rifles, an even slower archetype that kills in 3 bullets, but again shoots slower, so of course its time to kill is in line with the other weapons. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. The fact that they're different is going to be enough to motivate people to get these weapons and try them out. And if they are good, that's even better. You've now created a new archetype, a new interesting archetype of weapons that people are trying to go out and get and experiment with and try and use. But if you don't do this, if you confine yourself to these archetypes that have been in the game since launch, we don't need another 600 rounds per minute auto rifle. We've got all of them. We've got God roll ones that we will not get better versions of them. There's no point in introducing the 20th, 27th, 28th, 29th version of these exact same weapons that we've had since launch. You need to break out of these archetypes. You need to alter the stats so that you can find auto rifles with max stability and no range. Or higher damage than normal, but no stability or no range or something. Like, experiment. This is not the time to play it safe, because playing it safe is what caused the entire problem of Destiny 2 in the first place. It's time to experiment. It's time to go out of the traditional gun categories. It's time to go out of the traditional stats, because otherwise we're going to have more underwhelming experiences. We're going to have more flops like the Iron Banner. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and found this discussion informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 videos similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below at Rickakis, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.